Hey guys, we are going to show you how we make our very favorite cookie as of late. Today we are part of a Christmas cookie collaboration. I will put a link to the playlist below and you can go watch all the other really yummy Christmas cookie recipes. This is not technically a Christmas cookie, but this is the one that we make the most and we really like it. It is vegan. It is relatively healthy as far as cookies go, and Kurt is going to show you how we make it. It's actually pretty simple. It is from Raw Mormon Mommy's blog, and I will link to her blog below so you can get the recipe.
Okay.
We do make a few changes to the recipe though. She uses, I believe, a pastry flour. Is that what it says?
Yep.
Yeah, she uses a is it spelt?
She just uses a whole wheat pastry flour, whereas we use spelt.
Yeah, we just use spelt flour. We use it for pretty much everything. So our cookie, I'm sure, turns out different than her cookie would be. But I didn't want to have to go buy pastry flour that we don't normally use. So we just use spelt flour. And we quite often double it. We're just doing a single batch today, but doubling it works really well, too.
Okay, so I've got the flour in. I'm going to add the sugar now.
We use coconut sugar. She has 3 different sugars recommended in her recipe, but we like the coconut, so that's what we use.
And it calls just for a cup of it. Close enough.
If we've made it a lot, we kind of eyeball stuff a little bit.
Let's see.
Just the oven, letting us know it's preheated. It's really pretty easy. When I first looked at the recipe, I was a little bit intimidated. It's different from your normal cookie recipe, but we've made it enough times now. It's really easy and we make it up pretty quickly.
Some sea salt, or pink Himalayan salt is what we use.
We use pink Himalayan salt for most things. It's yummy.
And then some ground flax. And that is the dry ingredients. Give them just a quick combine.
The coconut sugar is kind of like brown sugar in the sense that it will get clumps in it, but I feel like the coconut sugar clumps are usually way easier to break up than a brown sugar clump is. And it's a finer grain.
Okay, that's probably good. And break up the rest when we mix it to the liquid ingredients. Some applesauce.
And we found that the recipe texture changes quite a bit depending on what kind of applesauce you use. This is a store-bought applesauce, and when we've used our homemade applesauce, which is quite a bit thicker, the recipe can seem a little dry, and we've had to add just a little bit more liquid. But it also changes up depending on what nut butter we use too. So I think this time we're using a peanut butter, and it's an organic peanut butter, and it's a lot, well, we're down to the bottom, so it might not be as runny, but it's typically runnier than other peanut butters or than an almond butter. So if it seems like it's a smidge dry, we just add a little bit more liquid. We might add a tiny bit of water or a little bit more applesauce, and it's fine.
This is my least favorite part.
I was about to say this was your least favorite part. Do you want this?
Sure.
and it really changes the flavor depending on what nut butter you use. We usually use almond butter, and last time we used peanut butter, and it tastes good, but it just completely changes the whole flavor of the cookie, even though you're adding just a little bit. With this, you really taste the peanut butter. With the almond butter, I feel like you don't taste the almond as much. It tastes a little bit more like a traditional chocolate chip cookie, kind of. We haven't tried it with sun butter yet, but we might at some point, just to see.
Okay, some vanilla.
Most cookies don't call for that much vanilla, but we like vanilla. That one you might have to take the seal off. And we use maple syrup, which is what she calls for. Real maple syrup, not table syrup. But I don't know, I'm pretty sure you could play around with it and use honey or some other sweetener. But we really like the maple syrup, and we tend to use it for a lot of our baking, so we just stuck with it. And the molasses you could leave out technically. You only add a little bit, and it definitely adds a molasses flavor. If I'm doubling the recipe, sometimes I'll just put single the amount of molasses. I usually do just a smidge less than called for, but it's not bad. I'm just not a big gingerbread molasses cookie fan, and so sometimes if I add the full amount, it's very molassesy.
Okay.
Do you want the whisk?
I will, yep.
Sometimes the nut butter is kind of tricky to incorporate, especially for getting the dredges out of a thing and it's a little drier. So you can, if you think that your nut butter might not want to incorporate really well, you can warm it up just a little bit first, and then it'll mix in a lot easier.
And that's the wet ingredients. And we'll add the dry too. It of course says to add the wet to the dry, but
We always add the dry to the wet, so we just do it this way. I have to use the weight one, I think. And then at some point here, as we start to get it mixed and we add the chocolate chips, she does call for chopped walnuts also, which we have done, and it's really yummy, but I don't always have walnuts on hand, so skipping those is totally fine. And we don't measure out our chocolate chips, we just kind of eyeball it. We pour them in until we think it looks like a good amount. We are using the Enjoy Life mini milk chocolate chips. They are dairy free, and I think soy free also.
and nut free.
And nut free, which in this recipe really doesn't matter.
And when Jen says we eyeball it, she means she eyeballs it.
Kurt likes things measured, and I like to just eyeball. I rarely put the recommended or called for amount of chocolate chips in. I've done it a few times, it's just a lot. And I think one time we actually mixed, we did some regular sized semi-sweet and or dark chocolate maybe, I can't remember now, and we did the mini ones and it was really good too. And that is basically it. Then you're gonna put it on cookie sheets. We do silicone mats on our cookie sheets so that we don't have to spray them or anything. And
just a tablespoon drop.
Blobs. So I will bring you back when they are cooked so you can see what they look like. Here they are on the cookie sheet before I put them in. That's about a tablespoon. I just used that. So that is what they look like on the pan. Okay, first batch is out of the oven. They've been sitting here for maybe 2 minutes. I've got the second batch in. This one I already kind of pushed off with the spatula so I could lift it. So you can see the bottom. A lot of cookies, like a traditional chocolate chip cookie, when you make them, they might come out kind of like this and then they deflate and kind of settle. These don't do that. They will stay like this. They're a slightly more cakey, chewy cookie. But that's about what you're aiming for. You do not want to overcook these. Really, you don't. If they start to get too dark around the edges, they just aren't as good of a consistency. It's not bad. They're still edible, but you'll want some milk with them. And they're great the first day. The second day, they're still okay, but they're a lot better, I feel like, the first day. And you can eat them for a few days. Just know that they're just at their best the first day you make them. And the second day, they will get a little bit sticky on top, just a bit. And so if you're storing them to take them somewhere, just kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, that is it. That is our favorite vegan chocolate chip cookie recipe that we make pretty much every time we make cookies. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will link to the blog with this cookie recipe below in the description box. I will also link the Christmas cookie playlist so that you can all see it. We are going to do our best to participate in Vlogmas this year. That means we're going to get a video up every single day for December. We're going to try really hard, guys. I promise. So look forward to that. We will talk to you guys soon. Thank you for watching.